Hey YouTube guys, welcome for my next part of the skeletons that we are going to get ready for Halloween. So as you know, in the last video I went to Home Depot. I got those what are they called, the home accent holiday skeletons. So last video I stripped those guys down and we're going to we're gonna stain them. I like to use a wood stain, like a Minwax. I have two left over from last year that I'm going to use. And there's two kinds here. One's a red based and one is a mahogany. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna mix these two together. So we're gonna see what happens with these two colors. So as you can see here, this is what we're gonna start with. Here is this Minwax. You gotta stir. Okay. Good catch, Brett. Except they just opened up all 100. This will make cleanup a little easier. Dollar store, plastic gloves, worth every penny. Okay guys, so here's where we're at right now. I have a sponge. I have my sponge here, and because he's got mechanical parts, but he also has deep color, so we're just gonna start kind of getting in all the nooks and crannies. I don't know what's more fun when these things are done. Posing them, placing them, dressing them, painting them. It's really kind of a hard one to pick up. So guys, listen, I'm gonna finish this up and move on to the next one. And we'll see you in a few. Hey guys, and welcome back. So here we are in my other office. This is my office away from my office. This is where I come to work on some of my prototypes. When I'm not in the office, I don't need the computer. I come out here to my little man cave, and this is where I work with the polymer clay. This is where I stitch stuff up to make things like pirate hats. I made this for my daughter. Excuse me, that was last year. Also last year, I went to the dollar store and I got those Day of the Dead little mariachi hats, and I cut the edges off. I went to Joann Fabric and Hobby Lobby, and I went over there and I got some hat trim, and I got some feathers, and then one of my favorite probably pirate hat makers. He is my favorite pirate hat maker, and that is Jeff McKay at Captain Hats Pirate Captain Jack's Pirate Hats. If you need a pirate hat, man, he's just the best. I've got a couple of his hats. You can see they're like super high quality, and they're not cheap, but you know what? They are something that's going to last you a long time. Anyway, so go to the dollar store, and I did a little special hat for my daughter. This hat was, believe it or not, was only about $1 or $2 in materials, and it's got some coating to it. And this was a black hat, by the way, that I made, and this is one of my daughter's favorite pirate hats. So for doing your pirates, I went to the dollar store. I wanted something a little different, so I got one of these hats here. So we're gonna pop this tag off, and if it puts a hole in it, it's a pirate hat, so don't care. So it doesn't appear to be any rhyme or reason for front or back, but I'm just going to pinch the front. You know, we pinch the front, roll up the back, and well, what do you know? Instant pirate hat. And it actually, I like that. I think I probably should get one of these for myself. They're $1. They're at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, one of those dollar stores. And this is what I'm going to make for one of the pirates out on the either the barrel or the other guy is going to get a hat. So it's going to be a little big because they got small heads. So I use some of this hat foam. I'm going to trim some and into strips, and I'll hot glue gun. To save time, I'm hot glue gunning everything on this today. Normally, I would be so into putting a stitch of with some black string back and forth a few times here. Then I would either roll this up, because they had a couple ways you did the back of their hat, the back portions. They were either rolled up like this, they were pinned to the back, or they were just left down. So either way, there's a couple options you have. Depends on how much time you really want to spend on these hats. But for the sake of time, prepped everything except my garbage can is way over, and I missed here. So here's what we're gonna do. First step, we're gonna go with this pinched front, the peak of the hat. So I'm just going to load this sucker on here, and I do this only because it's going to be outside where the elements are. And now we just wait a second for it to cool down. Sorry, I'm so used to looking down on my camera here. I kind of forget that you guys are right there. I kind of messed that up a little bit, but it's a pirate hat, so we have this going on right here. So it's just going to take a second here for this to dry. I'm going to fold that crease a little bit. Chances are, because of being outside, I probably might end up throwing a stitch in there or two. I think just to convey pirate hat, I am going to pin it straight back. So I just kind of line up my peak and my thumb. I come back down here. I can mark it, but right now I'm just going to eyeball it. I am going to put a huge glob of this down. I recommend maybe putting a stitch in there. If you're going to use this for your own decoration or your own Halloween costume, I put a stitch in it. You put a couple little stitches in there, cross stitch, whatever you want to put, whatever your favorite little stitch is, fine. With the straw hats, you don't really need to put any trim on it, because they don't really trim those. You could probably put a little caulking on there, which is what they use. Now, I've cut a couple thin strips. Okay, so here, I'm gonna put it on because it'll probably stick to my hair, but here's one of our pirate hats, a buck. This was from my son's Halloween costume. These pants are a little landlubbery, but they're better than that plastic stuff. Now, headbands, I have these guys. I can get some RIT dye. I can dye them. This is a one I haven't used yet, but this is one I had from one of my guys outside. A lot more weathered and shredded from being outside for the last 2 years. So they're going to get something cool like that. And then if you have any spray adhesive, you can spray the tops of their head and have the black spider web. and just kind of, once it gets really tacky, start attaching this on there and pulling it down. You can get some really cool long black strands of hair intermittent throughout, which is really cool. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this, again, dollar store. I got 3 things of this creepy cloth. I got 2 grays and black. I'm going to kind of sew together a coat. I might give him the pants and give the other guy the coat and the hat. I don't know how we'll make it look right. We'll play around with that. But for the moment here we have our hat. Cool, huh? It doesn't fit me now. I put the home hat foam in. Yeah, it doesn't fit me now. For me, I would have to leave that out. But for these skulls, they're so small. I hate to say it, they're child size. So you got to make them look adult. So when you're going to get clothing for them, you got to go into the kids section. So it can be a little challenging, but you can still find stuff like that. Thank you for watching part 2. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. We could really use the thumbs up. Happy Halloween, and we shall see you on the next episode of Welcome from Indran. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Light my sword on fire.